This video is dedicated to all the righteous and all the Christians who passed away recently in the last couple of years. I'm going to be discussing a little bit about the Templars and Avignon, Jacques de Molay, some of the Igbo history and language, a little bit, a little bit of etymology, a little bit of the history and the migrations of Igbos. So the Atlantic slave trade spread the Igbos to many places like Barbados, Dominican Republic, America, of course, Jamaica, Belize, Bahamas. And you have the red Igbo as well, which is the fair-skinned Igbo, as well as you have the black Igbo. And then you have the yellow-toned Igbo. So you have the Soso, and you have to understand that there's the Patois, the Unu, and then there's the word Bim, a name for the Igbos in Barbados, which was used by the enslaved Barbadians called Bajans. A lot of this I got simply from Wikipedia and Igbo blogs, some stuff I knew already, and I'm just gonna tell you this. Whenever I put it down as notes, it's something that I agree with to be true. Besides that, I just, leave the rest. You can do your research if you want anyway. So you have aqua, which means cry, bed, cloth, or egg. You have uku, which means big, and unta, small, oji, dark, oka, light, ohuru, new, osi, old, oma, good, ojo, bad. And then you have the vegetables, the leaves. You have ugbo, igwe. You have the vehicles, the crafts. Well, that's Ugbo's vehicle, and the igwe is iron metal. And you have ugbo, ala. And you have other words as well. An airplane, for example, is ugbo ilu. So, it's the cars, ala, and airplanes ilu with the ugbo in front of it. Now you go to next, there's aku, quo, which means leaf. So the trees of the leaf are for the healing of the nation. Aku, quo. The trees of the aku, quo are for the healing of the nation, for example. And then, it can be linked with papyrus, papyri, paper, book, school, education, okay? So we go on. We talk a little bit about the Templars, because we're mixing this in, Let's say George Abayon, which is the Knights of the Templar. They come from the poor knights, and we're talking around 1100s, and the assassins were in 1273. So it's important to note that the assassins came afterwards. The Templars and the poor knights, 1118. So let me go on. You have people like the Grand Recorder, the Grand Imperial Conclave, the Grand Lodge of Scotland, the early lodges, the Venerable Preceptor. This I got from uc.co, the original paper by E.J. Boyd, and I referenced some of his stuff, from my notes as well. The Temple Library, Office of Bearers, Brethren, St. George Lodge. You have books, Christopher McBride, etc. And we talk about people like the Fratres of St. George in Avignon, and how they connect in with the Templars, and how you had different lodges, and how they had their financial problems. They had to turn to the bankers, and now they were the bankers, and how the Hospitallers were conveniently not around when the Templars got slaughtered, and their symbols count on their hospitals and the psychiatry, and they're the ones pushing a lot of the New World Order. And the psychiatrists, the corrupt doctors, etc. They all these statistics about doctors being cruel to people and discriminating against different genders and transgenders, etc. So we go into the military and religious orders, and the badges of the knights. One of them was a red cross with a white background. Of course, you have the red cross, and they're doing this on behalf of the elite, not for the people. Oh, we love you, we love you. They don't love you. So then you have the Mediterranean coast, right, and you have the bandits and the pilgrims, and you have the money lenders, and they're protecting the trade route, the path. And those the good Templars who were brainwashed by the scum, And then, so there's a lot of legend about the bankers of Levant and how this trains into the assassins and how they work together, and how on the 32nd level of Freemasonry it said they drink out of a skull, and this comes from the assassins drinking their enemy's blood from a skull, and it goes back to, the traditional Templar ritual and um, the Trapen skulls. Now, if we go on to the lodges, and like around 1806, 1810, there's the Royal Arch degree. They're separated, and the Master Masons, and above that, are controlled by the Royal Arch. And then you have the early Grand Encampment to the Ireland Charter, and the early Grand Conclave. And we go on to the Abingdon Lodge. I was talking about George of Abingdon, etc., and the Grand Masters of Scotland, 1802, 1804, 55th Aberdeenshire Regiments, the North British Militia, etc. And we have the Gordon Highlanders, and it gets dissolved in 1885. And so a lot of these people get pushed around. And so as we go on, the guy became St. George, and everyone's kissing his butt. But some of these guys did good work against the Muslims. Other ones were sold out, and some of them sided with the royalty and sold other ones out. So now they're returning the favor and infiltrating the royal families in the Vatican. You see the Vatican in the news, how they're exposing the conspiracy on the top level. I was right about the Vatican. I was right about the Zionists, and I was right about because it came out in the news about the Mossad. So I was right about the Zionists, right about the Vatican. And I was right about the Masonic lodges and the mafia bankers as well, because it came out in the news about the Italian bankers as well. So at this level, that I'm right about who the levels of the conspiracy are, and who's running it, and who the families are, and how it has ties to the Normans and the House of Wexus and the Avignon, etc. So you have to understand, it goes back to Romulus and Rome. Remus of Rome, who started Rome. Romulus killed Remus, and you have all the scumbags that came after that. And so you had the different encampments of Avignon, the different lodges, and the different taxes they had, and the different allotments of money for their think tanks. They allotted them money so they could perceive what they're doing and their agenda. Like 1836, you had the Royal Grand Conclave, etc. For example. And you had Sir Alexander Duchar, for example, and the Royal Grand Conclave's administration, and how they're taking in non-Masons and trying to get their thing going as they give superficial honorary Masonic degrees to people who are going with their agenda as well. And we go on, it's kind of compared to people in third world countries they take advantage of, and etc. So we go on to the Edinburgh and the military orders. We have the hospital orders, the military orders. These guys giving our symbols, the different factions of Masonry. They come together and plotting everyone, collaborating, conspiring, colluding, you name it. And we get to they're cooking the books to get their agenda across as well. And we get to the Rose Cross, and Dr. Beveridge. Freemasons it's like, that's why you have the French secret societies, and it overlaps with the terms, the wordplay, and how we meet something else in French as well. How these people name their companies like Chevron after their Grand Masters to honor them, and etc. So sometimes they're the family members as well as the Grand Masters and the family members, but. As we go on to people like Sir Knight Smith, and there's generals involved, famous generals. There's chapter generals, and it's modeled. The military is modeled after the Freemasonic structure as well, just like the CIA came from the Freemasonic structure. It became public. And I'm getting back. I only have about a minute, and I got to cover a whole lot of stuff. So let me get back to the Igbos. Okay, the Odinani. The Odinala, Omenana, Odinana, or Omenani is the cultural beliefs of the Igbo people that practice the religious symbols, systems, ancient systems I'm talking to you about. These are the people that embody them the most. Now, Chukwu is the central deity, God, and nobody but God is him. Just like Amonotep has God's name in his name, Chukwu Emeka has God's name in his name. Now we also get Uwa, Chukwu, okay? Chukwu and Mecca. Now, to understand their world, Uwa, you have to understand how the Igbo live together and how we're all one big happy tribe, and we're divided, and there's earth goddesses and Allah, for example, and we have different deities and manifestations of earth goddesses on land, and and the central deity's driving them all. So they're embodying it through the central deity, just like the Egyptian religion, just like Christianity is the ancient African religion. I can go on, and other people's cultures have the same thing, similar, but mine is just more true and more real because we have the bloodlines and we are the people. We are the direct migration. We have the least outside influence until the colonists came. Now we're kicking them out. We've had liberated ourselves, 40s, 50s. Now we go on to 60s, 7 civil war, 70. We go on, etc. Now we go on to the Igbo of Nigeria and other racial ethnic groups, okay? And you have the Igbo cultures and how they split into different sects and they went their different ways, but there's the same idea, and they had the different Nubian tribes there, and they're also, okay. Now, we get to the Chi, the personal spiritual guardian. So my Chi, Tai Chi. Where the fuck you think it's a coincidence? Dude, you think it's a you better shut up. Oh shit, I'm out of time. Okay, so let me just breeze through this real quick. So you have the Chi, the Uwa, you have the Odinai, you have the etc. You have the Amadahoa, which means the free will of the people. You have Amadara, you have Kamanu, you have Orfufi, you have the Igbo land, the governing planet of the sun, the red and the symbol of the white ram. You have the well, let me end it there before okay, let me just finish this record. Hey, Mbeze or Ngg are the deceased ancestors, Ndumbazi, Ndichi. You understand me? The Odinani. You understand me? Equinzu. Do you understand me? The Christian Igbos adopted this, and then they said, okay, the Christians misrepresent the devil and Satan, and they don't understand Chukwu. Okay? They don't understand the convoluted modern identity. Now, we go on to the pantheists and the pantheistic thinking, the Igbo pantheon. Now we go on to Chinike. You understand me? The visible and invisible source, like the Amen, the Chinike. Now understand me, brother. We're not playing with these motherfuckers. Your upper and lower soul, your higher and lower chi, the different forces that take play, the Odinala, the Arishu, Arishi, the other deities, the lower deities. Now you gotta understand that it's the Orishi versus the Chukwu, and Chukwu is gonna win. Set is gonna lose. So I took these extra minutes to explain it to you. We got to restore the peace and love, the harmony between Umnadu and Arashi. Do you understand me? The Umadu, the supernatural forces and love, the harmony between the two, the brotherly love that Bob Marley even spoke about. Now, my African friends, our Kulanut communication, understand the communion, understand the bread, understand Afro-Asiatic Igbo Chukwu ancestors, and the Dibia, the spiritual guardians and masters, the Uwa. Understand, my brothers, we came first. Our spirituality was passed down and we kept it. Don't let the scum confuse you. We had the Delta Igbo states. We had the Southern Delta Igbo states. Not just the Ija, the Igbo as well. Don't let the devils confuse you. Don't let them confuse your Arashi. Don't let them confuse you. The anima. The animal, the anioma, idoma, for example, the anioma of the Delta state. Who do they live by? The Ija. Oh yeah, okay, I'm way over. I'm gonna stop. Okay, I don't want 13 even on that thing because we're talking about the ancestors. We got the whole little thing open. We can put the last little picture. Yeah, we're gonna end with this little picture here. Why are we doing this against the scum? Because we know they've done it before, and God wills it.